StudyIQ IAS, अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।
Hello, Namaskar, Namaskaram, Namaskaram, Namaskar. My name is Pooja Divedi. Welcome to my class, The Daily Current Affairs. Those of you who are new to this channel, what do I do here? I just give you a gist of it. I take all the important news from the perspective of the UPSC examination, put it in this class, curate the information regarding it, formulate questions that are important for the UPSC preliminary examination, hence helping you to develop a skill or a knack for the MCQs. See, most of us know everything, as in, if we are diligently preparing for this examination, it is expected of us that we know everything. But most of us also do not know how to curate or filter out the information in such a manner that it is effective for the examination. Some things are more important than the others. So this particular class is targeting the skills. If you are coming to this class on a daily basis, you will develop a skill, that is for sure. I do not expect you to make notes in this class. Why do I say that? Because the note PDF format of this class is already provided on my Telegram channel that goes by the name of Pooja Divedi, StudyIQ UPSC. If you have any doubts, any queries, if you have not understood anything, you can talk to me directly through my Instagram channel as well. Now, before I begin with the class, I would like to inform you that we are launching our evening batches of the Prelims to Interview batch. And these classes will provide you everything in detail. From live classes that will be of evening at 6 p.m. to one-on-one mentorship, daily answer writing practice. Other than that, current affairs module on a daily basis. You will also be provided prelims test series, mains test series, and the biggest of all the things is the mains residential program. Those students who are going to qualify prelims 2024 will be called to the StudyIQ campus to prepare for the mains examination with the help of mains enrichment program. And after that, we have an arduous preparation for the interviews as well. I request you to use the code PDLIVE so that you can get a discount of as much as it will come down from 70,000 to 29,999, and you please use this particular code. Thank you so much. Now let's move ahead with the events that we have to cover. First of all, let's talk about the river Yamuna, which is in the news a lot, so do expect a question. With respect to the river Yamuna, consider the following statements. It originates from the Yamunotri glacier near Bandarpunch peak in the Garhwal range of the lower Himalayas. The Rupin, which is another tributary of the river Yamuna, originates from the Har Ki Pauri, and west of the Yamuna there is no elephant in 900 km of the western Himalaya or its foothill. Now what do we have to see? We have to see not correct statements. As I have told you time and again that UPSC is not looking for students who just prepare for 2 months and then they think that they are good enough to be a bureaucrat. It is looking for aspirants who have toiled enormously since many years, and not only that, who have toiled enormously and have in-depth knowledge so that we can make a change, and that is why in-depth knowledge is very necessary. So first statement, many of us know that yes, it comes from the Yamunotri glacier, that is for sure. Most of us know that, and then we stop reading about the depth part anymore. But if we delve into more depth, we will know it comes from the near the Bandarpunch peak. That is okay. Now another very important part is, does it come from the Garhwal range? It comes from the Mussoorie range, not the Garhwal range. And another part that we have to see is it is in the lower Himalayas. So you can see this first statement only is so much full of facts that superficial reading won't help anymore. So Yamunotri glacier, yes. Bandarpunch peak, yes, but not Garhwal Himalayas. It is the Garhwal range, but Mussoorie range. Many of you must you must be thinking just, yes, the first line is so correct that I am going to mark it correctly. And then you forget about the rest of the statements. So be very careful whenever you are reading the statements properly. Also, expect a lot of facts in one statement. That means UPSC wants you to go into the depths of it. Then second, the Rupin, which is another tributary of the river Yamuna, originates from the Harki Pauri. Now you have to remember that Rupin is another tributary of the Yamuna river. That is correct. But where does that originate from? That originates from the Harki Doon and not Harki Pauri. And now you must be thinking, I have read it and I did not see it in any of the books. Most of the time, you will find these sort of statements on government websites from where I formulate the question. And always ensure that you choose the correct website. So, if it is from NCERT, then you do not have to worry about anything else. But if you want to talk or read about rivers, go to the Water Resources Ministry of the Indian government's website. So, Rupin originates from Harki Doon. That is definitely incorrect. This second statement is definitely incorrect. Now, so many of you must not know this lesser known fact about Yamuna, that it is an elephant frontier. That means to the west of the river Yamuna, for 900 kilometers, there is no elephant. In the lower parts of the Yamuna, there is, but not to the west of it. Okay. So first incorrect, second incorrect, third is definitely correct. Not correct ones, two are not correct. Okay. So because of Yamuna's swelling this year, many people are saying that Yamuna has encroached into our territory in Delhi. But we should know that the region through which the Yamuna goes is actually the correct region. Right now, whatever parts have been engulfed by this deluge or the flood is the actual course of the river Yamuna. But because it had a lesser water and because it was diverted for a long period of time, now it is starting to reclaim its territory once the barrages were opened. So that is the one thing that we have to know. Yamuna is an extremely important river, and it is Yamunotri glacier is to the north of the Haridwar in the Himalaya mountains. It is the source of the Yamuna river and it is near the Bandar Pooch peak, and here are the Bandar Pooch peaks. Okay, and it rises from the Mussoorie range of the lower Himalayas, an elevation of about 6387 meters above the mean sea level. District is Uttarkashi. Okay, and in its first 170 kilometer stretch, it gets the tributaries Rishi Ganga Kunta, Hanuman Ganga, Tons and Giri. Remember that, the earlier ones. And the Tons is actually the largest tributary of the river Yamuna. There are many important forests, such as forest of alder and blue pine. They lead to the famous Harki Doon, which is source of the river Yupin. And Yamuna is a frontier for Indian elephant. West of the Yamuna, there is no elephant in the 900 kilometers of the western Himalayas or its foothills. The forest of the lower Yamuna, it offers a corridor for the elephants. And there are many important types of trees such as sal, khair, sisu trees and the Shivalik sheer pine forest. Okay, moving on. Consider the following statements. India is UAE's second largest trading partner, accounting for 20% of its foreign trade. Indians are the largest expatriate community in the UAE. After USA and China, UAE became India's third largest trading partner. So this is a fact-based question and a concept-based as well. So let's see how many is or are correct. See, the Prime Minister of India was on a tour for France and now he is in UAE. That is the stopper. So we have to understand that UAE is a very important trade partner for India. Trade relations are one of the key defining features of many of the countries right now that India has relations with. So make sure that you know about the trade relations. First statement is incorrect. Although India is UAE's second largest trading partner, this is correct, but it accounts for 9% and not 20% of its foreign trade. 20% is a lot. 9% is also a lot, but compared to that, 20% is a lot. So 9% is there, of course, because of the huge expatriate community that of Indians is living in the UAE. Do you know 30% of the UAE's population right now is comprised by Indians? So that makes us the concept and makes us lead to the part of the concept that yes, Indians are the largest expatriate community in the UAE. The third largest partner is definitely UAE. And the first is USA, second is China. Okay, so UAE is our third largest trading partner in the world, but India is UAE's second largest trading partner. Okay, so first incorrect, second correct, third correct. So what do we have to see? Correct ones, right? So 2 and 3, these two are correct. 2 only will be the correct answer. Okay, so India is UAE's second largest trading partner. I have told you that accounts for 9% of the trade, foreign trade. 14% of non-oil exports come from the UAE to India. Okay, so you have to remember that oil is an important part that we get from the Middle East mostly, and from that also we have two categories, oil and non-oil. We have to increase our non-oil exports, and from there also India is trying to say that okay, you can also give us non-oil exports. UAE is India's third biggest trade partner. Okay, and if we talk about the fourth biggest trade partner, it is Saudi Arabia. Remember that. Okay, and if we talk about the 1970s, back then the trade was $180 million US dollars per year, but now it is 72, beg your pardon, $72.8 billion in the year 2021. Value of UAE's non-oil trade with India will increase from the current 60 billion US dollars to over 100 billion US dollars over the next 5 years. So you have to remember this as well. This is completely factual. We are trying to increase the trade relations. UAE is the 7th largest investor in India, investing in many companies of India. UAE is home to 3.5 million Indians, and Indians are the largest expatriate community in the UAE, giving us a lot of foreign remittances. India and UAE also signed the landmark Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement in the year 2022 only, and exports, the challenges to exports were of course mitigated by that, because about 90% of the products which are exported and 80% of the lines of trade will attract zero duty from the UAE. That means we will have a larger market in the UAE now. Then the bilateral trade between India and the UAE is projected to reach 250 billion US dollars by 2030. This is a huge fact for the prelims examination. With respect to the H5N1 influenza virus, consider the following statements. Not a good news, because influenza virus of avian influenza virus we are talking about here may turn into a pandemic. This is what not I am saying. This is what the World Health Organization, Food and Agricultural Organization, Animal Health Organizations are saying. Because the problem is that the virus, the nature of the virus is such, it keeps on bettering itself. It wants to give the UPSC examination. So every day it tries to better itself. It doesn't want to just remain to one species. It wants to jump to other species as well. Very ambitious element in our universe. So we have to remember that anything, any virus that is existing in nature can become a cause of concern, because right now human to human contraction is not possible when it comes to avian influenza. It is not, there are not proper data to prove that, but we have to understand it could become. So it was first detected in 1996 in Hong Kong. The virus has a high mortality rate in humans of about 50%, and there is no evidence for human to human transmission at the current time. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? See, first, for the first time ever, any virus comes from China. I don't know why. Any virus, if you think that it is having a zoonotic chances of development, it comes from China. So remember that whenever we are talking about such sorts of virus, think about China first. Other than that, if any other virus is coming from anywhere else, I will tell you about that. But this particular virus has come from China, from the Guangdong province. Okay, Guangdong province, I will show you it on the map as well. But later on it developed in Hong Kong in 1997. So it was first detected in 1996. This is definitely correct, but in China and not Hong Kong. The virus actually has a very high mortality rate. 50% of the total infected population can die. That is definitely correct. And right now there is no evidence that this virus can pass from one human to another human, that is like COVID. This is the only solace that we have right now. Persons who are coming in contact with infected birds can get infected, but not from human to human. So first statement is incorrect, second is correct, third is also correct. Two only will be the correct answer because we had to select the correct ones. Now, actually the ongoing avian influenza outbreaks in animals are raising many concerns because it could become a potential pandemic. And we need to raise the level of awareness. We need to raise the production of Tamiflu. See, H5N1 virus was first detected in China from the Guangdong province in China. And due to certain reassortments, it also developed in Hong Kong. And 18 people were infected with the virus, 6 died. In 2002, an epidemic of influenza also killed birds, wildlife, and domestic animals in Hong Kong's nature parks. The virus then spread to other Eastern Asian parts. Right now, the virus exists in Europe and even beachlands of Africa. Right now, people are thinking in North America that it could also come to North America through migratory birds. The virus has a high mortality rate in humans, about 50% of, and as of early 2007, more than 150 people have died as a result of H5N1 infection. This is how it is trying to better itself. Okay, very ambitious. There is no evidence for human to human transmission at the current time. Unlike most avian influenza viruses, it is highly pathogenic in chickens. What does this word mean? That means if once any chicken is infected, any poultry animal is infected, then what can we say? That they will definitely have a disease through that. That is why it is called highly pathogenic. Many strains are also pathogenic in ducks. That means different strains occur in ducks, both domestic and wild. There also they could get disease. And importantly, we have to remember we have drugs, but these drugs are effective only when they are taken in the initial stages, such as oseltamivir, that is Tamiflu, and zanamivir. Right now, what we are seeing that although it has no evidence of human to human transmission, but what if? So this question of what if is being answered by we need to raise the production of these two drugs and of course raise awareness. With respect to the Law Commission of India, consider the following statements. It's a statutory body. It must be headed by a retired judge of the retired CJI of the Supreme Court only, and its recommendations are binding on the central government. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Law Commission is so much in the news, I expect everyone to answer it correctly. See, it's not a statutory body. A statutory body is the one which comes into existence with the help of an act which has been legislated by the Parliament. The Law Commission of India comes into existence through the notification which is given in the Official Gazette of India. It is an executive body. That means it's not a statutory body. If your concept is clear in polity, then you can answer the first statement really correctly. So this is how UPSC works. Fact, concept, fact, concept, fact, concept. So first statement is incorrect for that very reason. It must be headed by retired CJI. No. Justice Rituraj Avasthi is a retired Chief Justice of the Karnataka High Court. So how does it matter that now second statement will ask yourself that how does it matter now? If you are constantly in touch with the current affairs, if you know about retired Justice Rituraj Avasthi, you can answer this question because he doesn't belong to the Supreme Court as the CJI. He was never the CJI. So that of course will let you know that yes, because you are using your minds now, you must be thinking yes, because of that second statement will become incorrect even if you haven't read it anywhere. Many students ask where these kind of statements are given. Ma'am, please tell us. See, the thing is that UPSC is not going to directly take something from the book. It is going to test your conceptual and analytical abilities as well as how you handle nervousness in the examination hall. So it is going to do that. Its recommendations are binding on the central government, not at all. It's an executive body. It's not a constitutional body that its advice will be definitely have to be followed by the central government. It's binding. No, it's an advisory body. It can just give advice. Okay. So first is incorrect. Second is incorrect. Third is also incorrect. How many are correct? None. Okay. Let's move forward. Law Commission of India is a non-statutory body, and after independence it was formed in the year 1955. Before independence it was formed in the year 1834 under the Act of 1833 headed by Lord Macaulay, and it is constituted by a notification of the Government of India, Ministry of Law and Justice, Department of Legal Affairs, and it has a definite terms of reference. Right now we have the 22nd Law Commission of India, talking so much about the Uniform Civil Code. The commission makes recommendations to the government as per its term of reference. Okay, whatever has been told by the government, see, you have to look into these matters that are the terms of reference. Through the Charter Act of 1833, this body came into existence pre-independence in 1834, and it was chaired by Lord Macaulay, and through that it could be achieved that codification of IPC and CRPC took place. After that, it was also formed in 1853, 1861, 1879. So law books developed through that only. It consists of a full-time chairperson, 4 full-time members, secretary, Department of Legal Affairs as the ex officio member, secretary, legislative department as the ex officio member, and there should be no more than 5 part-time members. This could be also asked in your preliminary examination, so go through this as well. Consider the following. It consists of 2 stages. It can carry a payload of up to 15,000 kg into the geosynchronous transfer orbit. It was previously known as the GSLV Mark III. With respect to the LVM-3, how many statements given above is or are correct? LVM-3, the Bahubali of, as it is christened as the Bahubali of ISRO. It has carried yet another successful mission of the Chandrayaan-3. See, Gaganyaan will also go through this only. So you have to be very careful when it comes to reading about LVM-3. Successful mission after successful mission it is giving. And it consists of 3 stages, not 2 stages. It can carry a payload of up to 4,000 kilograms. These are the kind of factual questions that would be asked in your preliminary examination. 4,000 kilograms, 15,000 kilograms is a lot. When we come to just geosynchronous transfer orbit. And it was previously known as GSLV Mark III. Yes. Its earlier name was GSLV Mark III. We have read so much about GSLV Mark III. It also carried GSAT. So it is rebranded as LVM-3. Okay. So first is incorrect, second is incorrect, third is correct. One only will be the correct answer. The rocket was previously known as GSLV Mark III. Most powerful rocket of ISRO ever developed. Has a 3-stage. Consists of 2 solid fuel boosters and a liquid fuel core stage powering it. So that, see, when there is solid fuel, it actually burdens the rocket. So in order to prevent that, we have just 2 solid fuels and 1 liquid fuel core stage. And the solid fuel boosters provide the initial thrust when it has to rise. And then the liquid fuel core actually sustain the thrust to propel the rocket further. First, it is the solid fuel who will do their job. Then liquid core fuel will come into the picture. Lift off mass is 640 tons, carries a payload of up to 4,000 kilograms into the GTO, and it carried GSAT-19 communication satellite, AstroSat. Chandrayaan-2 also was carried by this only. Then it was known as GSLV Mark III, now LVM-3. Okay, and then of course this is the particular diagram that will show you. See, there are S-200 solid rocket boosters. If you have seen this particular launch yesterday, you could easily make out solid booster these solid rocket cylinders also detach themselves when before the separation of the Chandrayaan. This is a rocket that carries the Chandrayaan. This is the 2-1. I'm telling you about the 3. Okay, so Chandrayaan-3 was carried by it. Chandrayaan-2 was also carried by it. And you see, right now we have the C-26 cryogenic engine. This is the C-25. Right now we have C-26 cryogenic engine, and it also has 2 Vikas engines. Okay, let's move forward. What is the theme of the World Youth Skills Day 2023? Skilling the entrepreneurs of the future, the ills and boons of artificial intelligence, readying the world for digital skills, skilling teachers, trainers and youth for a transformative future. The correct answer to this question is option D. Okay. And in 2014, it was decided that July 15 will be celebrated annually as the World Youth Skills Day. Interestingly, the Skill India mission was also launched on this particular day only, July 15. Did I just say June? It's July, sorry. And it wants to encourage dialogue between young people who want to upskill themselves and be ready for the ever-changing labor dynamics. Also, the theme for the World Youth Skills Day 2023 is skilling teachers, trainers and youth for a transformative future. The importance of teachers, it is much higher right now because we are at the cusp of, we have entered the Industrial Revolution 4. So, we have to understand that the teachers play a major role when it comes to upskilling the youth. Okay. The Bastille Day, which is celebrated in France every year on 14th July, was chosen as the national holiday or National Day of France in 1772, 1816, 1845, 1880. The correct answer to this question is 1880. Bastille was a medieval fortress. It started as a fortress and it turned into a French state prison and a place of detention. See, the Bastille was stormed by armed mob of Parisians. Parisian means the people of Paris. In the opening days of the French Revolution. This was the end symbolism that monarchy has ended. The first stone was laid on as early as in the year 1370 by the Charles V of France. It was a bastille, like a gate, a fortress gate against the English war, so that the English couldn't enter France. See, we have to understand the history, then only we can learn about the significance. And over the time, Bastille started to be pronounced as Bastille. And this is a corrupted form of Bastille. And Cardinal de Richelieu was the first to use it as a state prison in the 17th century. And under Louis XIV, the Bastille became a place of judicial detention. See, on the morning of July 14th, 1789, only 7 prisoners were there in the building. So, mob came to that place, asked the governor, give us the arms and ammunitions that are in the fortress. The governor said no. So, they started storming the Bastille. It symbolized that the end of ancient monarchy has come. And then it was chosen as the National Day of France in the year 1880. Okay. So, I hope you understood these many topics well. I will provide you the PDF. Subscribe to my channel soon. Thank you.
StudyIQ IAS अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।